All right, good morning. So today is Friday. This is our first full day in Europe, and it's about 6:20 a.m. I went downstairs a little while ago, around 5, trying to find some coffee, and they said coffee is not available until 6:30. So I've got Yetis, heading back that way to try to get some. Didn't sleep very well last night. Still trying to adjust to this whole time change thing. But so far the trip's been pretty well. Everything's gone fairly smoothly. If we could just get some coffee, things would be great. So we'll see what we can find. So I had to ask the guy how to use this coffee machine, and their large cup of Americano only gives you like 4 ounces of coffee or something, half of this tiny paper cup. And he saw my Yetis, 2 20-ounce Yetis, and said, "Oh, you want to fill those?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to." And the guy just laughed right in my face. "Oh, you have to do this a lot." But I got the coffee, and the whole machine even gave you like separate glasses of steamed milk and everything. So it's a little different than what we're used to. But got the coffee, and now we can really start waking up and see what's going on for today. There's these green birds that fly around that look like cockatiels or something. I saw 2 of them yesterday, and now this morning there's another one, and they just fly around. And there's people playing tennis. It's 8:45 in the morning. They've been out there for a while. I think these over here are apartments. These people look to be pretty established. All right, so we got our apparently 4 servings of Americano coffee drink and got ready for the day. Now we're headed to the hotel breakfast. We got the American style breakfast as opposed to the Italian style. So instead of just little pastries or whatever, I think it's a full buffet. So let's see how it's looking.
Yeah?
Yes.
So table for 4.
Looks like plates are under here. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. Yeah. Potatoes and tomatoes. Okay, you want some potatoes? Next one. Little sausages? Turkey sausage, he says. Oh, that's the one I have there. Would you throw one on mine, please? Stuffed? Porta, it says savory cakes. Donut. Fungi or mushrooms. Okay. Scrambled eggs? No thanks. Ooh, and fruits. So it could be a Honey Crisp and a banana, absolutely. Oh. All right, here we go. Holy cow, a whole pump of Nutella. I don't really like that stuff. I've never seen one that big. Got into a taxi, headed to a tour we have at the Colosseum. I don't know what kind of little car this is, but everything is little 5 speeds. This building is called the Victor Emmanuel II Monument. They started building it in 1885 and didn't finish until 1935, and it's meant to honor the first king of unified Italy. You can see that it features some ancient Roman architecture that's on the outside and the inside, but then also on the inside, it has a museum. Everywhere you look, there was historic stuff. So everywhere we look here, we can see that there's groups of people being guided by a tour guide. It's easy to spot because the tour guide holds up a flag or a sign on a stick so everyone knows where they're at and can follow. There's 13. Yeah. Crown Tours, that's the one. Do I have to go? I don't see any stairs. Oh, it smells good. We can go right up here by this motorcycle. Unconventional food. Smells delicious. It was common for businesses to charge people who were not customers €1 to use the restroom. And this one was very clear. They had it in many languages that it was for urination only. All right, made it to our tour meeting spot. We found it pretty easy. We're just number 13 on this street. Right over here was kind of something different. There's a lot of aggressive driving and defensive driving, just people getting in wherever you can get in. I could literally reach out my elbow out the window and rub onto other cars and buses and motorcycles that were driving by. But we made it here. High today is supposed to be 71 degrees. So we had just a little bit of precipitation earlier, so we wore our rain jackets today. But we got all checked in and got our radios or whatever for the tour, and we're waiting here for it to kick off. This lady with the white flag was our tour guide the first day that we were in Rome. And you could say that she was agile or quick-footed, but really we had to chase this lady all over the city. I think we had 4.5 miles in by the time that we were done.
Now, after you put your passports, IDs inside your bags, we are going to have security control. For security control, don't take off radio. Just bags and phones into the security.
The Colosseum had a whole X-ray security checkpoint we had to go through to get in. This cross was installed by Pope Benedict XIV in 1749. He put it there to honor Christians who were killed under the Roman rule in the Colosseum. Here you can look out and see all of the other travelers who've come to see all the historic sites here.
Over there where the cross is, was.
Over to the left, you can see what's left of the white marble seats that used to go all around the Colosseum. In its prime, it was able to hold 60,000 spectators. Higher social classes got to sit in the nice marble seats, but peasants had to sit way in the top on wooden benches.
Faster, faster. Let's go, let's go. What you see from here is this. Look at this. So this is a temple. This is where the statue was standing.
It was almost kind of sad to look around and see how commercialized some aspects of this historic building had become. But then there were other places like this staircase that appeared to be relatively untouched, and that was really cool.
Bigger or smaller than you thought before you entered?
Same. Exactly. Yeah.
But you're going to see how big and spectacular it is. Check out your fear because that'll be
If we learn anything about Rome, or seem to be Europe in general, it is not for those with weak ankles. These cobblestone roads were hundreds if not thousands of years old, and they were just plain hard to walk on. Coming up, we see the Arch of Titus that was built in 81 AD. It commemorated Emperor Titus's military victories. Every direction that you looked, there were various gardens and old fountains that were built by different emperors over the centuries that Rome has been established. You really couldn't look any direction without seeing just a beautiful landscape.
Chairs, there were beds for the to relax. So the bed of the emperor was here, the central part, other beds all around, and then always in palaces, in front of a dining room was another special small private garden called the Vistilla, because after the meal here.
This building on the other side with 3 arches was called a basilica, and it was used for public meetings, gatherings, and other civic functions. Eventually, when Christians took over, they adopted this basilica, and then the basilica style, and then the word basilica is now known for churches or other religious places. It was really amazing to be able to look out in any direction and you can see these ruins that are hundreds or thousands of years old. Literally, all this stuff was older than the whole United States of America. This is the exact location where Julius Caesar was cremated. And then as the tour ends, it's kind of a tradition for tourists to tie the earbuds that they use during the tours to this bridge. Every so often, there were little outposts with Italian military. They were always driving these Land Rover Defenders or American Jeeps. We walked the streets for a while looking for a cute street cafe to have lunch at. We ended up getting roped in by a very charismatic maitre d' who told us his name was Tony Macaroni on the floor.
E-bikes and scooters and motorcycles and tiny cars. And a little yappy dog. A bossy little dog. And look.
Literally.
Here to come.
It's a pony.
It's so nice.
It's a pony. I have to get one.
It looks really happy.
It's a sign. I have to get one. I'm going to get one. For Christmas. A pup.
I don't remember what the food we ordered was called, but it was pasta and meat, and it was good, just not quite as seasoned as an American would typically prefer. And here was Tony Macaroni, who took some pictures of us, and of course a selfie. Down the street we stopped and got some Italian gelato that was wonderful. And then we walked around until we were able to find a taxi to take us back to the hotel. Even just riding in a taxi felt like some kind of field trip. There were so many beautiful buildings and unusual architecture. There was tiny European cars and people on motorcycles and Vespas, and just all kinds of interesting stuff to look at. At the hotel gift shop, I noticed that instead of just a Surgeon General warning or something, the packs of cigarettes each had pictures of some sad situation, like a person in a hospital bed, to help show people the realities of what smoking does.
So we finally made it back to the hotel, and I think it's fair to say that we're thoroughly exhausted. We spent the day hoofing around Rome trying to follow this tour guide lady, and it was exhausting. I didn't catch how many steps yet, but I'll figure out this evening. We were gone for several hours, and happy to be back. Might have taken a little bit of nap already, but I'm glad to be back and resting. Tomorrow at 11, we're going to the cruise ship terminal and getting on the ship. But I think that about wraps things up for today. I don't see us doing very much else. So we'll check back in with you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button, And to be notified of our next video when we board the ship, go ahead and click subscribe. Take it easy.